So I just wanted to know, first of all, what was your first like introduction to Star Wars? Did someone um, introduce it to you, or did you just happen to watch it like on TV one time?
Yeah, my dad took me to go see the first of the prequels, so episode one in theaters, and that was my first time watching those, and I, you know, immediately couldn't wait for two and three.
Marseille and Gayton?
Ooh, like my first introduction?
Yeah,
I mean,
it could be any Star Wars. It doesn't have to be like
could be
you know.
anything. Well, obviously, like growing up, I knew like of Princess Leia and Darth Vader and just like really the main characters like Luke Skywalker and all of them. But my main one was probably when I first went to Disneyland and I rode the rides and actually understood like the story of what was happening. I was like, oh, this is what it is. Galaxies. So yeah, it's like constantly a learning process for me for sure. But I think that was my
Oh,
introduction. Yeah.
When I was about 7 years old, my uncle came in from out of town for like his first like summer to see us and get to know us. And my mom is my mom's twin brother, and they grew up very, very big Star Wars fans, and especially him. And he asked if I'd seen it, and I told him that I had been like watching like the cartoon. I was watching the Clone Wars on and off, and he was like, and both my parents, my mom and him, were like, no, 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 we have to start from scratch. And so then we watched all of them
oh.
and it was done for from then. There was no getting me back, and then I just went off the deep end, and I have remained there for the last 15 years.
Very cool. So about the recording process, how much fun did you have with your recording sessions? And was there any opportunities to improv? And what can you tell us about recording your efforts?
And feel like you got to take.
Right? I had an absolute friggin' ball every single day we were in there. I think it was just that's kind of an environment that is mainly facilitated by the creative team on that's not even there with you. That's like at their own space, or at least not for me, because I was in New York filming at the time. But Dan and Benji and Chris facilitated such an uh, cohesive world building for you just through the description and through the help that they give you, and it made it so easy to just become completely enveloped in this world that they've built, because they like, even though they have the same tools at your disposal from Star Wars, they've completely rebuilt this world and done it
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
brilliantly and beautifully. And they love these characters, they love this story, and they love this world so much that it's infectious, and it's easy to fall in love with it from day one, and that's what exactly what happened.
I only have 1 more minute left. So what do you expect the younger audiences to take away with this? And could go to anybody.
The younger audiences to take away from this. I just hope they have fun, you know. This is a really, really original but fun yet classic Star Wars tale.
Mhm.
Um, and kind of I hope, young fans can just kind of jump in because it feels kind of like perfect to jump in and at any level of the fandom, whether you're a massive fan or a more, entry level fan, but it doesn't matter. It's a great way in. And honestly, I just hope everyone can watch this and have fun.
Yeah,
Young, old,
I agree.
experience. It's just I want them all to get along and have fun.
Oh my gosh, I had so much joy watching this. It's like, oh my, I didn't expect it to be the way it is, but it is so much fun to watch. And Marseille's character was so fun to see, and her going to action and all that. It was so much fun. So, hi, I'm Michael Lee from the Nerds of Color, and I had the chance to talk to Bobby Moynihan from Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. How are you?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Well, thank you very much for asking. So before I ask you about Jedi Bob, I just wanted to know what exactly drew you to Star Wars and what makes you still a fan today.
I think what drew me to Star Wars was always just the I enjoy a large universe filled with a lot of characters with a lot of minutia to think about. I like Lost. I was a huge Lost fan.
Oh my gosh.
Star Wars, like anything that has like a big community of people talking about it, things that don't matter at all in real life, I am down
Hmm.
to talk about it too. Makes life easier. Yeah.
Okay, so I was just also wanted to know how much fun did you have with your recording sessions? Because being you with an SNL alum, were there any chances to improv or go off script of any type?
Sure. Yeah. It was always fun. Dan and Benji wrote an absolutely killer script, and getting to play in the Star Wars universe alone is like the funnest thing in the world for me. But then having those guys who are super funny and getting to make them laugh, especially just as nerds, and throwing in Star Wars stuff. I mean, some of the stuff that we improvised, we were dying, and Lucasfilm was like, no, 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 we're not doing that. And I was like, cool, but it's like, but the line kind of went, the line kept getting pushed, and I enjoyed that. I think they were really smart to do that. Some of the stuff Mark Hamill does in this special is the funniest Star Wars material ever put on screen. He is a comedic genius.
You speak about kind of crossing lines or not crossing lines, and in previous interviews you talked about also rejected skits. How many of those kind of things that you have come across throughout the course of your career in
on SNL? There was a
on
couple
SNL or in any types of sort of Star Wars related thing
that got cut, you mean?
Yeah, that got cut or rejected or whatever.
Oh gosh, I mean I definitely have pitched stuff to Lucasfilm trying to get. I kept trying to get. I was on Star Wars Resistance, and
yes.
I wanted to do like an Orca and Flick series that was essentially like Orca and Flick's like Office of Acquisitions. Like they were where everything got like they were like the lost and found of the Star Wars universe. So it was like one week they would find like Luke's hand, or the next week they found like Chewie's medal that he never got. Like just like all these like like weird, like kind of like Jedi Bob. I wanted to do like all these weird fan things and give them the backstory they deserve, but it's maybe someday. I like to pitch weird stuff.
Given that we don't know much about Jedi Bob, did that lack of story kind of give you the freedom to create the character that we see in this?
Yeah, I mean, Dan and Benji kind of brought him to life, and I just got to say the words and add jokes to it, and I'll be forever grateful. But yeah, they knocked it out of the park. Like I also love that it's not just. I love that there's much like Star Wars, there is a gravitas to this very, very silly thing. Like it's playing Jedi Bob and having a speech where I have to tell Sig, like, you have to believe in yourself. That's what comes first and foremost. And then I'm like, okay, now let's get out of here. Like it's like it's losing my mind. It's super fun to do both of those things.
So you've talked about your Star Wars collection. What is your Lego Star Wars collection like?
Now it's vast and expensive.
Yes, that's fair.
I bought way too many Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy sets. I'm gonna live in them soon. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to build my own home from it. It's pretty good. My Jedi Bob collection is masterful. I have in the spirit of Rebuild the Galaxy, I have made a lot of my own Jedi Bobs. I went on eBay and found a guy who just was selling a bunch of Jedi Bob heads. So then I made like X-Wing Jedi Bob. I made like Sith Jedi Bob, Christmas Jedi Bob.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch.
Okay, so this is my wrap up. So I just want to thank you for taking the time. And before I go, I just wanted to say you have kind of a crazy, how do I put this? Like degrees of Star Wars, so to speak. You're in this, and you also played voices Panda, who wore braces and became sort of a Darth Vader, so to speak, kind of character. Yeah. And then you are also, which is Daniel Chong thing, and you're going to be in Hopper. So
yeah, that's right.
I'm very excited about that. So
I was on a show called Nature Cat, and we did a Star Wars episode, and Hal was Hal Solo. I believe it was Hal Solo. Also, I like your Inside Out poster behind you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, that's a very cute one. Yeah, I can tell you all about the artist later, but yeah. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Michael Lee from the Nerds of Color, and I have the chance to talk to Dan Hernandez and Benji Samit from Lego from Lego Rebuild the Galaxy. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
We're doing awesome.
So I was wondering, what does playing with a box full of bricks and minifigs do do for inspiration in terms of building this kind of story that you want to tell?
I mean, that's exactly what was in front of mind when we first were conceiving of this. You know, we wanted to do something big and special for the 25th anniversary of the Lego Star Wars partnership, and we really thought that it would be fun to try and recreate that feeling of actually playing with Lego, the way you play with it as a kid and even as an adult sometimes. Which is, yeah, taking that big bin of all your Star Wars Lego and dump it on the ground, and you'd never play with it like chronologically in the story of the movies. Like you don't just follow the script of the movies. No, you start picking up minifigs, mashing them together. Good guys are bad guys. Ships are different now. Everything's different. The timeline's out the window. And so we were like, well, is there a way that we can take that feeling and put it on screen? And that's where this came from.
And I would even add to that, Benji is extremely versed in all things Lego. So there were times where we would have an idea for what a ship mashup might look like. And Benji would go into his office, into his Lego workshop area, and he would build the prototypes to sort of proof of concept.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, back here you see these are the official sets, like that's the X Fighter, as we call it. The initial X Fighter idea came from me just playing with my Lego and taking my existing X-Wing and TIE Fighter sets and just taking them apart and putting them back together in a different way. And we sent some pictures of that to the Lego designers, and we're like, can we do something like this? And they were like, yeah. It's, you know, I mean, truly, like playing with Lego for my job. It's surreal.
And it's not usual to have that degree of direct input on things like toys, Lego sets, action figures. So for us to be so intimately involved with the designers, with everyone at Lego, it was a really special kind of once in a lifetime opportunity.
Given that this is Lego, a world, Lego world, so to speak, what were some of the things that you didn't expect to, I guess, change when Sig grabbed the cornerstone and effectively rewrite history? What were you kind of trying to have fun with, pay reverence to, but also stand on your own, like make your own features distinguished, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted once the galaxy got mixed up, you know, it was a balance because we wanted things to feel weird and different and unknown to Sig, who is such an expert in the Star Wars galaxy that we all know and love. So it needed to feel very different and very mixed up, but at the same time, it still needed to feel like Star Wars. Like, you know, if you match it up too much, then suddenly you're in something else. It doesn't feel true to the spirit of Star Wars. And so that was sort of the fine line that we were walking down of just like, how much can we change things, but still make it feel true to the thing itself?
And to do it with intention,
Right.
and to do it for not just to make something that looked cool or was funny, but for story reasons, for plot reasons, for world building reasons, where we really tried to have at every step of the way, if we change something, kind of a historical reason why things developed differently in this version of the Lego Star Wars Galaxy. So trying to police ourselves into really having a firm foundation of any of the changes was very helpful, because I think it made it feel more lived in a way that even if you can't exactly explain why, I hope it comes through to people watching.
So this is going to be, I guess, my wrap-up question, but because there's so many different interpretations, different answers, and who shot first, Han or Greedo? Okay, how about an easier one?
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say.
Okay.
It's hard to get away from the thing that you saw first in your heart and
Me?
memory.
Okay.
So for me, I will always go to Han shooting first, but
Okay.
I also know other people have a totally different experience of what they saw and how they experienced it. So I think that every answer is legitimate,
Yeah.
but for me, that's how I grew up. And so that's kind of what's still in the front of mind.
That's
But
totally fair.
In our galaxy, Greedo shot his shot first.
Greedo definitely shot his shot first.
See, that's what I think.
So that I can say definitively.
Okay, very, very good. Thank you so much. This was a fun time. Thank you. And I love this. I love this, by the way.
Thank you
been
so much. I
fun
really
to
love
watch.
the work that you guys do.
Fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.